Guys, welcome back to Construct Your Life. This is Austin Linney here with your Friday Rant. You know what we don't allow people to do anymore? We don't allow people to fall. We love a good comeback story in America, but nobody's allowed to. You got to have the right education, the right situation. You got to have the air conditioning. Everything's got to be perfect for you to succeed. Nobody's allowed to fall forward. Nobody's allowed to learn from their mistakes anymore. We want a world of perfection. That's why everybody's upset. Do you know how many times I've fallen? Do you know how many mistakes I've made financially and physically, emotionally? Do you know how many drugs I've abused, alcohol abuse? And look, I'm stronger for it. I'm better for it. But we don't allow our kids to fail anymore. They've got to be at this school and this thing, and they got to be perfect at everything. My spouse has to be perfect in everything that they do, and they're not allowed to have an off day. That political leader, that person that I look up to, they're never allowed to have a bad day. Everything has to be fitted in this perfect world. What happened? I used to drink out of water, out of a hose. I'm still alive. I used to not have a morning routine, and I still went to work. What are we doing here? Nobody's allowed the opportunity to grow from mistakes anymore. And you're going to shoot them down and yell at them and critique them because the podcast lighting is not great on the first episode. They stumble over their words. We become a society of backseat drivers. We've become a society that thinks perfection is something that actually exists. It's the farthest from the truth. If you were allowed to follow around people, you would realize that 99% of people have mistakes they do every day. And they could choose to learn from them, or they can choose to not. That's still up to them. But when did we not allow people the grace to be better and become something more? What happened? The act of invention is to fail at things multiple times. You're reinventing yourself every day. Well, wouldn't you make mistakes? Wouldn't you make missteps? Wouldn't you fail? The act of getting sober is a violent situation. And I don't mean like you're punching yourself. I mean like violent anger, things come out. If people didn't give me the grace to figure that shit out on my own, then I'd still be stuck. I choose to be public about it and open so other people's could have the cover to fail too, to be better. The podcast, the first podcast I ever did to the podcast now is a better podcast. Do you know how that happened? I did a lot of podcasts. I did a lot of mistakes. And you think that everybody's critiquing you on your failure, but this whole message that I'm saying right now, here's the punchline. When did we not allow ourselves to fail? When did we become the backseat driver of our life? Who's got an opinion on everything, doesn't allow ourselves the grace, doesn't allow ourselves the freedom to become more. Hope everyone got some value from this, and we'll see you next time. Guys, let me take a minute to tell you about my buddies over at Lead Hub, Ben and Aaron, the best humans I know. Not only are they amazing at marketing for trade companies, but Ben started his HVAC company in his garage, sold it for multi-million dollars. So when this guy talks, I listen. When we took over Dietz Mechanical, we had 22 reviews in 22 years. In 7 short months, we went from 22 reviews to 107. We went from a 4.2 to a 4.7. We tripled our Facebook presence and we tripled our calls. If you're an HVAC, plumbing, electric, landscaping company, and you're looking for a no BS approach to marketing, you're looking for people who have done it before, you got to go to leadhub.net